mutant COVID strain just as Queensland finally reopens its border to Sydney. 15 minutes of madness, the burnout on a suburban street where children play. Anthony Albanese's leadership rocked a major Labor reset and a claim that he will one day lead the country. Toll turmoil, residents furious as trucks clog up more local streets. And a sudden property boom, Sydney home prices jump, now more expensive than ever.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Mark Ferguson.
Good evening. There's overwhelming relief tonight for the family of an autistic teenager missing from his Mooney home for almost 24 hours. He was found a short time ago, alive and well. 13-year-old Leif Courtney was stranded on a Hawkesbury River houseboat while hundreds of people search bushland, caves and railway tracks.
After almost 24 hours missing, pure relief.
There are not any words. I'm not going to attempt to put that into words. There aren't any.
13-year-old Leif Courtney found on a houseboat on the Hawkesbury late this afternoon, almost 100 metres offshore. No one knows how he got there.
He's been on a houseboat. He's been out on a houseboat.
Our cameras were there the moment rescue crews brought him ashore. Exhausted, he was put into a life jacket and taken back to Mum after search crews spotted him just before 5 p.m. this afternoon. The best ending to a long search.
Leafy! Leafy!
The young teenager is severely autistic and can't speak. Search crews had feared the worst when he left his family home on the Pacific Highway at Mooney around 7:30 last night and vanished.
He's non-verbal, but he's not afraid of crowds. Please approach him if you see him. And just do your best.
It sparked a major search stretching 15 kilometres.
Extensive teams are conducting land, air and sea searches. We're now searching several tunnels, caves around the Mooney and Brooklyn areas.
Covering bushland, roads and waterways, teams even blasted his favourite song.
If 10 million fireflies.
This was a community effort. More than 200 locals turned out, joining hundreds of police, SES and firefighters. In the end, they found him just over a kilometre from home.
Some people have not slept all night and they've walked the entire night and day. People coordinating, people making food, and people praying. Just thank you to everybody.
And Andrew Denny joins me now from Mooney. Andrew, a great result. How is Leif doing tonight?
Well, he is doing incredibly well despite his ordeal. He was clearly exhausted and had to be held up by his mum and friend as he was walked back to a car. But paramedics have given him the check over and also the all clear. Now, his discovery came just in the nick of time. There was clearly a feeling of deflation amongst search crews who had been out all night and again all today in these pretty horrible conditions. Of course, only a few more hours and it would have meant that Leif was spending a second night alone on that houseboat. Luckily, he is now home with his parents and they say he won't be going on any more adventures anytime soon. Yeah, great community effort. Andrew, thank you. There's a new COVID threat for Sydney tonight, with authorities urgently searching for a group of New Zealand travellers feared carrying one of the new mutant virus strains. It's put a question mark over a raft of big border announcements, including from Queensland, which at this stage intends to reopen to Sydney-siders on Monday.
7 travellers in from Auckland, now the centre of a desperate contact tracing mission that's forced the federal government to suspend the New Zealand travel bubble another 3 days.
This allows continuing protection of the people of Australia while the extent of the situation in New Zealand continues to be clarified.
All had stayed at Auckland's Pullman Quarantine Hotel and were potentially exposed to the mutant South African COVID strain.
This is, of course, of concern. It can be anywhere between 40% more infectious to 70%.
In total, 12 people flew to Sydney from Auckland, 3 transferred to flights for Hong Kong, 2 flew straight to Queensland, 7 entered New South Wales. Concerned authorities have now extended COVID warnings to anyone who's arrived from New Zealand since January 9.
Please isolate at your home, arrange to get tested for COVID-19 and follow the advice of the health authorities in your state.
Unusually, the acting health chief took no questions, Now it's up to the states to track the travellers down.
That means that contact tracing has to be even faster to stop second and third generation cases.
The news didn't stop the premiers today pushing ahead with border openings. First, Queensland.
The New South Wales residents are now all welcome back into Queensland. Now's the time for families and friends to be reunited.
News that caught our Premier by surprise on breakfast radio.
What do you know that I don't?
Queensland is opening the border from February 1.
From tourism experts,
you're welcome to Queensland one day and you're very unwelcome the next. And people are very, very wary.
The northern border lifts from Monday, with South Australia announcing it would open on Sunday and Victoria set to follow suit.
I'd hope to have by the end of tomorrow no red zones in New South Wales.
The Treasurer saying the lockdowns should never have happened.
What we can't have in our country is every time there's a new case that we shut our borders.
So what about New Zealand?
Well, look, I mean, that's a matter, Chris, for the Commonwealth Government.
A new report today ranked Australia's COVID response 8th best in the world. New Zealand was first, America 94th. Tennis great Serena Williams had nothing but praise.
They have strict quarantine protocols down there?
Yeah, it's super, super strict, but it's really good. They're doing it right.
All a cause to celebrate. Trumpet legend James Morrison offering a fanfare start to the City concert series Sunset Piazza.
We want people to come back to work, we want people to come back and visit, we want people to come back and enjoy our city.
Today, no new community cases in New South Wales, the 11th day straight, and the government says that's powering their confidence to stage more events like this. Critical not just for tourists and locals, but for musicians and artists who've been dormant for the better part of a year.
For so long we've been asked not to congregate, not to do things together, and it's like saying it's time now to come and start to live again.
And Chris Reason joins me once again. Chris, what effect could this worrying news from New Zealand now have?
Well, Mark, just as we get this news that the states are opening their borders, with the airlines preparing to turbocharge their domestic flight schedules, now this, what will it mean for border openings? That's the question. The Queensland Premier this morning made it very clear that she wouldn't hesitate to shut down again with any outbreaks of the mutant strains. Now, federal authorities have already provided all flight manifestos and contact information from their immigration arrival cards, and New South Wales Health has told 7 News that they've managed to track down some but not all of those that have come in from New Zealand. They've only just received the list. They're working through that now. But now the anxious wait for results, for monitoring and of course tracing their contacts. But the message tonight, Mark, really is anyone who was in the Pullman or had any contact with that hotel needs to contact authorities urgently.
And anyone in any doubt, get tested.
Absolutely.
Chris, thank you. Mark. A Hern driver has been caught performing dangerous burnouts on a suburban street where children play in Sydney's northwest. The Australia Day stunt was captured on camera by furious locals who say it's a miracle no one was hurt.
On a quiet street in Glenorrey, as others celebrated Australia Day, one hoon was busy leaving his mark. Behind the wheel of his Holden SS Commodore, 28-year-old Damien Scott tears up Cairns Road right outside a bottle shop in the normally quiet neighbourhood as his passengers watch, recording it on their phones.
Lots of wheels spinning and just went on for ages, like sort of 10, 15 minutes.
Locals just thankful no children were out playing.
Oh man, they're scared. That's trust me, yeah. Daddy, what's that? What's going on? Outside waste, smoke everywhere.
And they've just got to be idiots because they use this as a racetrack.
7 News spoke with Mr Scott on social media. He declined to go on camera. However, he did express remorse. The Hornsby Mayor says residents have had enough.
Totally disrespectful, but dangerous to people who live in the area and affecting the amenity of the area. People expect to be able to have a bit of peace and quiet.
Not only does he have a very expensive repair bill, but Damien Scott has lost his car for 3 months. It's been impounded and his driver's licence, no doubt, for much longer. And now he has to explain his actions to a magistrate in March. Evan Batten, 7 News.
A man's behind bars accused of detaining a young woman in her Walleye Creek home during a frightening armed robbery. Police say he held her at knife point for over an hour before stealing designer handbags, an iPhone and Apple AirPods. A magistrate today refused the 37-year-old bail, describing the allegations as very serious and terrifying for the victim. He'll be back in court in March. A second offender is still on the run. Anthony Albanese has declared he will be Prime Minister after the next election, despite tensions within the party over his leadership. The Labor leader today reshuffled his front bench, declaring his focus is on creating jobs.
Darth Vader.
Refreshing his team.
I'm Anthony, what's your name?
Ahead of a possible election race this year.
Oh, off the foot.
Anthony Albanese announcing major changes to his front bench to try to settle growing discontent within the party.
This reshuffle is about Australians getting the most out of Labor.
The biggest winner, Deputy Opposition Leader Richard Marles.
His short title is the Shadow Minister for Jobs, Jobs and More Jobs.
Given a brand new portfolio, national reconstruction, he'll lead Labor's focus out of the pandemic.
And that's a very exciting challenge for me.
There's been a mutually accepted job swap between Chris Bowen and Mark Butler. Mr Butler's climate change policy contributed to the last election loss. Chris Bowen told 7 News his focus is on the economy.
If we get climate change and energy policy right, we'll be creating hundreds of thousands of jobs.
Tanya Plibersek, seen as the front-runner to become the next Labor leader, loses many of her previous roles.
This is the strongest team to form an Albanese Labor government.
Not strong enough, according to Labor MP Joel Fitzgibbon. He believes the only way to avoid an election defeat is to reshape policy direction.
He has to continue to track back to the sensible centre, to put the Labor back in the Labor Party.
There are mixed views within the party about this reshuffle, but the question remains, is it enough to stop talk of a leadership spill?
I will be the leader of this country after the next election.
Challenge accepted. Jennifer Beshwati, 7 News.
US President Joe Biden has moved to pressure other world leaders into taking stronger climate action. The president confirmed plans for a leaders' meeting on carbon emissions as his climate envoy highlighted Australia to press the case.
Washington's new point person on climate tells a global conference to consider...
And in the end, Australia's fires killed dozens of people.
Australia's bushfire terror. The former Secretary of State quotes an article that drew on satellite images.
Unfurling banner of smoke said, "The war has started, we're losing."
Today is Climate Day at the White House.
President Biden signs orders to block new oil and gas leases on public land, end fossil fuel subsidies, and force climate action into US foreign and national security decisions. A 180-degree turn from the Trump approach of economic development over climate.
We see it with our own eyes, we feel it, we know it in our bones, and it's time to act.
It looks like President Biden is working on a Make America Unemployed Again kind of strategy.
Though John Kerry argues Washington will chase the near 90% of global emissions made outside the US.
We could go to zero tomorrow, and the problem isn't solved.
And the president moved today to force more climate action from foreign governments. He's called a Leaders' Climate Summit for late April, hoping to sharpen the commitment countries like Australia make at a conference set for later in the year.
It's not time for small measures. We need to be bold.
In the United States, Tim Lester, 7 News.
A swimmer has survived a crocodile attack in a lake near Cairns by somehow pulling the 2-metre-long salty's jaws off his head. Paramedics found the 44-year-old sitting calmly on a rock he'd swum to.
He put his hands in to try and prise the jaws apart, and then in the process of trying to remove his hands, the jaws snapped shut on his forefinger.
One bite was just centimetres from a major blood vessel. Australia's fight against coronavirus could be given an unexpected boost, with the manufacturer of one of the leading vaccines saying it could supply more than originally agreed. Pfizer has ramped up worldwide production and expects to hold fresh talks with our federal government in the coming weeks.
It produces the world's most effective COVID vaccine. And today, pharmaceutical giant Pfizer promised 10 million doses will be delivered down under next month, on time, despite fears Europe will block vaccine exports.
Our understanding at this stage is that it is not an export control. It's a notification process.
Jabs are already going into people around the world. A Senate committee questioning why Australia is lagging behind.
61 countries running a program, 70 million people having it. We're not at the front of the queue, are we?
We are as advanced as we could possibly be with our regulatory process.
Pfizer says it's ramped up production and expects to offer the government a deal to buy extra doses.
We anticipate being in further discussions in the coming weeks and months.
Rival AstraZeneca is also making 50 million doses of its vaccine at the CSL lab in Melbourne. It's on track to be at GPs by April, but is still awaiting approval. CSL was invited to today's hearing, but the bosses knocked back that invitation, reportedly because they were too busy. That's despite the committee considering their evidence essential.
Remind them how disrespectful it is to not turn up to a Senate committee.
Both pharmaceutical giants say any delays to getting the jabs here will be worth the wait, promising they can be quickly tweaked to combat any new strains of the virus. Rob Scott, 7 News.
There are calls to tear up toll agreements and halt the sale of WestConnex as a new motorway rat run leaves residents furious. New figures confirm thousands of drivers are dodging the M5 East every day and flooding onto local streets.
Thundering through Bexley, brakes screeching, a constant convoy of trucks clogging up local roads.
Cowboys. We've lived here for years and it's getting worse.
New figures confirm that claim. Traffic has increased on Stony Creek and Forest roads since the previously free nearby M5 East tunnel was tolled for the first time in July last year. An extra 7,500 vehicles passing through the intersection each day. Truckies save $43 return using the untolled route.
Local roads are getting swamped with cars because Sydney tolls are just too expensive.
In the early hours of the morning, traffic's increased by up to 137%.
As if the situation isn't bad enough now, the government predicted before the toll was applied that it would have been even worse if not for the reduction in traffic that we've experienced during the pandemic.
We've got to look at 12 months worth of data and then we'll review the situation just to see if there can be improvements made.
Labor's calling on the government not to sell its remaining stake in WestConnex and use it as a bargaining chip to renegotiate toll levels with the private motorway operator.
We're not blaming the truck drivers. We're not blaming people with livelihoods. Nobody can afford those tolls.
Alex Hart, 7 News.
Despite predictions of a pandemic crash, Sydney house prices have soared to a record high and experts claim prices are about to go through another surge. Great news for sellers, but another blow for those wanting to buy.
Rosemary Georges and her husband bought their first home in Maryland this month, jumping into the property market as COVID failed to hold down prices.
Get in as soon as we could. We realised prices were skyrocketing.
Pouncing on record low interest rates.
Very, very exciting.
In Sydney's west, house prices jumped 7%.
We're not able to meet the demand because there's a lot more buyers out there looking for property than there is properties coming on the market.
Sydney's median house price is now $1.2 million, up almost 5%, despite COVID predictions of a 30% slump.
We were never going to see the market completely collapse, as was the predictions.
The Central Coast, Northern Beaches and Blue Mountains, the best performers, the only fall, the lower North Shore, seen as the COVID effect.
I think a lot of it is about people working from home.
Unless it's a bargain, first home buyers face a tougher battle.
We're seeing many young people now locked out of the housing market.
And a very buoyant Sydney housing market will need to overcome the winding up of JobKeeper in March and stalled immigration, impacting on demand. The prediction this year:
we're forecasting a reasonable increase in house prices, probably close to somewhere between 7 to 10%.
Auction season kicks off this weekend. Chris Marr, 7 News.
Time to check the forecast now, Angie. We've recorded some decent rainfall.
We did, Mark, especially overnight and early this morning. So before 9 a.m, Newcastle had the highest totals, getting up to about 60 millimetres, while the city recorded 19, Terry Hills 13, lighter in our west with just 7 millimetres at Camden. Right now, the focus has shifted to severe storms, though. They are developing within this yellow zone, stretching from the upper west down to the Riverina. So far, we've seen 75 millimetres fall near Harden in the southwest slopes and about 50 at nearby Junee. The cycle of continued rainfall may not last though. The long-term outlook points to La Nina breaking down over autumn, so for much of New South Wales, including Sydney, a return to more average rainfall patterns and warmer than average daytime and nighttime temperatures. For now though, the wet weather is here to stay. Your grey Friday outlook soon, Mark.
See you then, Angie. Thank you. A series of armed robberies across Sydney's west. After the break, a vision of 3 terrifying attacks. Are the same crooks responsible? Direct hit, the full force of a water cannon, a woman in the firing line. Track from above, the reckless rider caught speeding and running red lights. Thousands of dollars for free education, Sydney's public school reality. That's later. And in sport, the teen spin prodigy who's been fast-tracked into the Aussie cricket squad.
One small putt for man, one giant leap for putt-kai. We are about to see something that's never been seen before on Australian television.
The incredibly successful #1 rating smash hit.
Oh! Light him up! Oh my God! Oh! This is Holy Moly!
Extreme Family Fun starts Monday 7:30 on 7.
When is a garden more than just a garden? Well, this isn't a flower garden. It's their own private meadow. This is no mere entertaining area. It's a magical wonderland. And that's not a rooftop garden. It's their own little slice of heaven. Ryobi, for all gardens, great and small.
Harvey Norman, your destination for the new Samsung Galaxy S21 series. Pre-order the new Samsung Galaxy S21 128GB for $0 up front when you sign up to a new Optus $85 per month SIM-only plan for 24 months. That's right, sign up to an Optus $85 per month SIM-only plan for 24 months and pre-order the new Samsung Galaxy S21 128GB for $0 up front. Plus, get bonus Galaxy Buds Live. Pre-order bonus offer ends 28th of January at Harvey Norman.
Some popular cereals contain over 25% sugar. That's more than a quarter of the cereal. Luckily, Weet-Bix is low in sugar, it's full of whole grain goodness and extra yum with a twist. Just add fruit, nuts and seeds. For a better brekkie, it's gotta be Weet-Bix.
Let's get to work. James Jacks, will you look at that?
I told you to pay attention to the road.
Clearly this wasn't my fault. Maybe not, but you've taken a wrong turn on this one. Your insurance policy is monstrous.
You know, if you had Budget Direct car insurance, you'd get a hire car while yours gets repaired. And you could save hundreds.
Are we there yet?
Not at fault. Get a hire car while yours gets repaired. Just give us the other driver's details. Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
With a nice outdoor setting, you can enjoy summer your way.
5-piece outdoor setting, only $149. Foil trays, just $9.95.
Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%. Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
New mini hotcakes with Nutella have arrived at Macca's. Our famous hotcakes made mini with a delicious layer of creamy Nutella. Wherever summer takes you, we'll be here.
The Nick Scali January sale ends Sunday. Save up to 50% off a huge range of quality furniture. Up to 50% off. The Nick Scali January sale ends Sunday.
Welcome back. A hoon on a motorbike has been clocked doing more than 200 kilometres an hour, weaving through traffic in Adelaide's north. A police helicopter followed the unregistered, unlicensed rider as he sped through several red lights. He was later spotted stopping at a home and going inside. Police paid him a visit, charging him with several offences. Police are hunting a dangerous gang over a number of armed robberies across Western Sydney. Detectives say the attacks were brazen and reckless. They're now hoping the public can help identify those responsible.
3 businesses hit by one group in a period spanning just over 24 hours. Masked and armed with huge knives and guns, it was organised and arrogant.
Very relaxed, committing a crime of this nature.
Staff at the businesses they targeted were left shaken.
I'm very scared, I'm panicked, but I leave him to take whatever they want and go.
The attackers struck first on the 3rd of January, threatening staff and patrons at the Canterbury Hotel, fleeing with money from pokie machines. The next day, an armed gunman stole cash and cigarettes from a Hurlston Park convenience store. A few hours later, 2 men threatened a service station attendant at Wiley Park, stealing money and cigarettes. There, the men stole $5,500 and several hundred packets of cigarettes. They also took the owner's watch, but when he told them it belonged to his deceased father, they gave it back.
A criminal with a conscience, which is something that we probably don't see very often.
Police say each of the attacks is linked by a silver Holden Commodore, which could be abandoned somewhere in Sydney. But officers believe the men's confident body language suggests they're not finished just yet.
Cocky in their nature, and that's always a concern to us, that they think they've got away with it.
Anyone with information about these men is urged to call Crime Stoppers. Tom Saker, 7 News.
Donald Trump's supporters charged over the Capitol riot are now turning on the former president in court. Many say it was Trump's speech beforehand that inspired them. Lawyers for this man, whose image went viral, argue he was duped by Trump into the failed coup. Another told friends even before the rally that if Trump told him to storm the building, he would. The so-called Trump defence is being put forward by several lawyers, playing into the hands of Democrats who've charged the former president over the attack. Around 150 people have now been charged. Some could still face the crime of sedition, which carries a 20-year jail term. A protester has been badly hurt following a direct hit from a water cannon. The woman needed 15 stitches after being slammed into the concrete. It happened during ongoing anti-lockdown protests in the Netherlands. It's a traffic jam, Kiwi style. 3,000 sheep clogging a one-way bridge on New Zealand's North Island. They were all headed for the shearing sheds on another part of the property, and these guys don't mess around with traffic control. It took just 7 minutes to herd them all across. As one local put it, there was certainly no room for a U-turn. After 2 injury-ravaged seasons in the Shire, Matt Moylan is on a mission to reignite his career with the Sharks. Mel McLaughlin is here, and Mel, the former Origin star, has a real point to prove.
I'm still getting over your jokes. Yes, Virgo, you're right. He's in the final year of a big money deal and needs to show he's still an elite playmaker. Coming up in sport, Matt Moylan opens up on getting back to his best for the Sharks. Also coming up, BBL revelation Tanveer Sangha, the young spinner who's been fast-tracked into the national side. And a clash of the Titans in the NBA. Ben Simmons versus LeBron James. Find out who came off second best. You might be surprised.
I might be. Thank you, Mel. Good on you. Sorrow has turned to anger for a community in mourning following a deadly car crash. Just ahead, shocking new details as the memorial for a young couple grows. The UK's big change following an Australian idea, but is it too late in their COVID fight? Hollywood in the harbour city, the Sydney Park being transformed into Thor's home planet. And the great ape escape, concern as a chimp breaks free at Taronga. That's next.
7 News brought to you by Officeworks.
With low prices and great savings, get ready for the best back to school ever at Officeworks. Like these 20-pocket Keji display books, just 65 cents each. Or this Acer Chromebook, only $287.
Get ready, Australia. The Big Bash Finals are here over one epic week.
Can you believe it?
And it doesn't get bigger than this.
Incredible. What are we seeing out here?
When the best of the best face off.
You couldn't script it.
Who will be crowned the champions of the Big Bash? The road to the title starts Friday in the Eliminator.
Big star!
It's sudden death when Adelaide face off with Brisbane.
When he hits it, they really stay hit. How's that?
It simply doesn't get bigger.
That is it!
The Big Bash Finals starts Friday on 7.
There's a new Walker Texas Ranger, and it's only on Stan.
Texas Rangers supposed to be the ones that weed out the bad seeds.
Supernatural's Jared Padalecki delivers justice.
Pedal to the floor, driving through hell. Give me more, eye for an eye, killer to kill. This is war.
Here he comes to save the day.
It's good to see you too.
Head him up for blazing action.
You are under arrest.
The brand new series Walker, now streaming only on Stan.
Mitsubishi Heavy Industries has been recognised by Choice as Australia's best air conditioner brand and CanStar Blue as having Australia's most satisfied customers. Buy before January 31 and get up to $300 cash back.
iSelect can't help with your naked partner walking past your big presentation, but we could help shrink your electricity and internet bills while you're stuck at home. Compare, select and save with iSelect.
The Nick Scali January sale ends Sunday. Save up to 50% off a huge range of quality furniture. Up to 50% off. The Nick Scali January sale ends Sunday.
When you want to update your home's air conditioning, you'll want air with smart automation. Air that's quiet and air that saves energy. A lot of energy. Isn't it time you updated your air conditioner? Mitsubishi Electric works for me.
At Terry White Chemmart, get real deals on trusted brands like La Roche-Posay, Tenor and Nikobate. Shop in store or online. Real value every day at Terry White Chemmart.
The stylish Haval H2, a globally engineered, European-designed and feature-packed SUV. From just $22,990 drive away. Haval H2 Auto. Go with more.
Welcome back. There's been an outpouring of grief in Brisbane for a couple hit and killed by a stolen car. Parents-to-be Kate Ledbetter and Matty Field were walking their dogs when they were mowed down, allegedly by a teenage driver high on drugs. Police now looking at whether to also charge him with the death of the unborn child.
An ever-growing symbol of an immeasurable loss, Kate Ledbetter and Matty Field, together for 4 years, 3 months from becoming parents, stolen from their friends and family in an instant.
This could easily have happened too easily to any of us, and I think that strikes a chord in our community.
The stream of people arriving here is constant. Many strangers, some, like Troy, old friends.
She was a really nice person, really caring, just loved spending time with her friends.
Kate was an interior designer, colleagues describing her as incredibly talented and kind beyond measure.
Always bubbly, she's always happy. She always put herself, second, everyone else first.
Making the horrific moment she and Matty were snatched from this world even harder to comprehend. The pair had simply been walking their dogs when an allegedly drugged 17-year-old in a stolen Land Cruiser crashed into them. It's not the first time an allegedly stolen car has been involved in a deadly crash at this intersection. In 2014, grandmother Rhonda Lofting died when her car was hit in the same spot.
I think the discussion more broadly about how the hell this happened.
Police may still charge the driver over the death of the couple's unborn baby.
We will await analysis of the autopsies, but also legal advice.
But amid the darkness, there's been one shining light. The couple's dog Frankie, who ran from the scene but was found after a major search effort.
We wanted to sit there and cuddle her, but she needed her vet treatment.
So Matty and Kate's loved pet can be returned to their families. Mackenzie Rawn, 7 News.
In breaking news, police are hunting a rogue driver who raced through the middle of Melbourne's Burke Street Mall during a police chase. We have these pictures just in. The driver crashed into a bollard, then took off. Shoppers near a tram stop jumped for their lives during the drama. Thankfully, no one was injured. The man accused of one of Sydney's longest-running cold case murders has pleaded not guilty. Scott Phillip White was charged over the death of Scott Johnson, whose body was found at the foot of North Head Cliffs in 1988 in what's believed to have been a gay hate crime. Mr White was arrested last year, weeks after police announced a $2 million reward for information into the 32-year mystery. The 49-year-old will face court again in March when a trial date will be set. For the first time, some travellers heading to the UK will be put into hotel quarantine. The British government has been watching what has happened here in Australia and is now trying to prevent more variations of the virus getting in.
In COVID-ravaged Britain, it is one sector that's very busy. With more than 100,000 dead, funeral directors are overwhelmed with a terrible emotional toll.
The realisation of the unfortunate people that have passed away. It's heartbreaking because some of the families haven't seen their loved ones. Perhaps they've been in nursing homes or in the hospital for weeks.
To try and bring the virus back under control, England's lockdown will go on until at least March.
We need to see the impact of our vaccines on those graphs of mortality. We need to see that they really are saving lives and preventing people from becoming seriously ill.
And for the first time, an Australian-style hotel quarantine system is being introduced, but only for travellers from 22 countries, places where there is the risk of yet more mutant strains of the virus.
It is clear that there are still too many people coming in and out of our country each day.
British experts have been studying how the more contagious and possibly deadlier strain of the virus that swept through this country affects people, and they've found the symptoms are slightly different. People are less likely to lose their sense of taste or smell with the UK strain, but more likely to suffer a cough, sore throat, fatigue and fever. As the world adapts, the virus is changing too. In London, Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
An adventurous chimpanzee has made a great escape at Taronga Zoo. The chimp was spotted sitting calmly just outside the enclosure early this morning. The zoo's emergency response unit was called, but its taste of freedom didn't last long, returning home within minutes without any assistance. Today, the troop of chimps was kept off display while an investigation was conducted. Part of Centennial Park has been taken over by Thor. Filming has begun in the newly built realm of Asgard, which actually occupies part of the Brazilian fields in the park. They're shooting the movie Thor: Love and Thunder through until the 12th of February. These locals may be the first to get a sneak peek. For the rest of us, the movie is set to be released in May next year. A struggling video game store on the verge of closure has sparked a Wall Street revolution. Up next, a win for the little guys and how they've cost major investors billions. Cashless and contact-free, how the pandemic's changed the way we bank forever. No such thing as a free education, and new figures show it's most expensive in Sydney.
Soon in sport, the rising star who came out of nowhere, now preparing for BBL finals and a potential debut for Australia.
And cool and cloudy today with more showers on the way to see out the working week. Details soon.
Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas in the teeny tiny Marvel blockbuster. Ant-Man, tonight on 7.
Here at Amart Furniture, our warehouse clearance is on now, where you can save up to 50% off a huge range of stylish pieces. So, what are you waiting for? Amart Furniture. These offers available for a limited time only.
Note to self. This year's the year of loving you, of finding more time to reflect, and more ways to sparkle in the way only you know how.
Hi, I'm just heading over now. Are you nearly there? Oh, yeah, I'm nearly there. You forgot, didn't you? Message Jack. You better not be late. I told you like a week ago.
I didn't forget. What are you talking about?
He definitely forgot. Here, pickle.
Wonderful to see.
Jack bought a cake.
Introducing the all-new Yaris range. Small now has it all. Oh, what a feeling, Toyota.
Got the fishing rod.
Oh, good one.
Sometimes plans change. With the Optus Flex plan, you can scale your data up and down from your My Optus app. It starts with yes.
Well done.
Get your Woolies worth and save $10 off your online shop when you enter code SAVE at the checkout. Minimum spend applies. Visit woolworths.com.au and start shopping today.
That's why I pick Woolies.
I only drink Oak because I like the taste. Oh, Oak. Kill hungry, thirsty, dead. Oi, want to be famous and mix your own flavour? If we choose yours, we'll make it. Go to oakflavorgenerator.com.au and kill hungry, thirsty, dead your way.
Invest with La Trobe Financial, Australia's multi-award-winning wealth manager, returning a current variable rate of 4.35% per annum reviewed monthly on a 12-month investment. Make your money work harder for you. Call 138010.
Discover the art of simplicity at the King's Summer Sale. Save up to 50% on Australian design. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Hurry, final days.
Pay less every day at The Good Guys. Get over $300 off this DeLonghi cooker. This Westinghouse dishwasher only $6.98. This Samsung top-mount fridge only $6.95. And these Russell Hobbs kettles and toasters $59 each. Pay less every day only at The Good Guys.
In 4 days, it's here.
Our next hole is a big one. It's Uranus.
Holy Moly starts Monday 7:30 on 7.
Welcome back. The share market fell to a 3-week low after a broad sell-off on Wall Street. Tech stocks had their biggest slump since November after quarterly results from Facebook, Tesla and Apple. Miners also fell, as did vaccine manufacturer CSL. On the currency market, one Aussie dollar is buying closer to 76 US cents tonight. And unleaded fuel still looking unlikely to fall until Monday. On average, it's around $1.40 a litre, but it's dropped below $1.14 in Fairfield. A group of small-time investors has turned the tables on Wall Street through an online forum day traders coordinated to buy stock in American video game retailer GameStop. Over the past 6 months, its share price has surged 8,000%. The result netting individual investors millions of dollars, but costing major US hedge funds much more, nearly $19 billion in one day alone. But experts warn it's only a matter of time before the soaring share price drops.
What's demonstrably scary in this moment is that a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money.
Today, GameStop was worth $455 a share. Property developer Stockland has revealed plans to build North Sydney's tallest office tower. It wants to demolish several buildings to make way for the 55-storey skyscraper. If Stockland gains planning approval, its $500 million tower will be near the new Victoria Cross Metro station and offer spectacular harbour views. Banks are increasingly branching out online as the pandemic puts paid to old banking practices. Australians are following along in the digital revolution, but there are lingering concerns over cybersecurity.
For decades, banking habits stayed the same. Now they're changing quickly.
I always bank on my phone, it's just easier.
More than 13 million Australians now use digital banking on their phone or computer, with a recent survey showing 4 in 5 customers prefer using an app to visiting a branch.
Because access to financial services, banking, payments and even e-commerce for small businesses is becoming a lot more simple and a lot more intuitive to use.
Banks responded to COVID by launching new digital products to help budget and find benefits.
We launched a coronavirus money plan. We've had more than 1 million customers leverage that.
Despite the rapid adoption, according to a recent survey, 2/3 of Australians still worry that their financial data is at risk of being stolen in a cyber attack.
I don't like the way things are going.
It is a security risk at the moment.
A growing responsibility for those entrusted with our precious personal information.
The banks and financial institutions have been on this path for some time now and see it actually as a really important obligation.
What we're trying to do is make sure we protect our customers and keep all of their data safe, sound and secure.
Gemma Acton, 7 News.
Sydney is officially the most expensive city for parents, with school costs well above the national average. Coming up, the shocking amount many are forking out for private schools and why so-called free public education is anything but. Don't miss that story soon on 7 News. But now Mel is back with sport. Mel, Shark star Shaun Johnson is on the comeback trail.
Yeah, he is, Fergo. It's been a long road back from a serious Achilles injury and he learnt plenty about parenthood during rehab. We'll hear from Johnson next. Plus, the Big Bash revelation about to swap Sydney Thunder's lime green for the green and gold. And Manchester United blow the chance to climb back on top of the Premier League in the upset of the season.
And I had a dream that someday I would just fly, fly away, away, oh, 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 I'd fly away
Escape into a new year with Home and Away. Starts Monday on 7.
Repco's got your last chance holiday jobs covered with 30% off all Castrol products and 35% off seat covers and floor mats. Hurry, end Sunday. Repco. It starts with the parts.
At Terry White Chemmart, get real deals on trusted brands like pharmacy-only Panadol Osteo, Pain Away and Hydrolite. Shop in-store or online. Real value every day at Terry White Chemmart.
Can one little light bulb change the world? That depends on how many of us change one little light bulb. IKEA.
It's the final days of Beaumont's January price dump. Prices dumped on tiles, bathroom, kitchen, laundry, floors and walls, 20 to 50% off. Hurry in for the final days of Beaumont's massive price dump.
Here in the market for a new Hilux. Well, SR5 now comes with even more power.
Sounds good.
Make any excuse this play clearance. Get the new Hilux 4x4 SR5 with free on-roads. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Cuke's baby cucumbers are crunchy, quirky and deliciously crisp. Nothing's quite as quick, nothing's quite as cute, nothing's quite as cool as Cuke's. Promoting healthy snacks for little footballers as proud sponsor of Mini Roos.
The Nick Scali January sale ends Sunday. Save up to 50% off a huge range of quality furniture. Up to 50% off. The Nick Scali January sale ends Sunday.
Tie yourself an epic reminder for this Saturday and get a USB rechargeable portable blender for $19.99. A 3-in-1 yogurt and cheese maker plus food fermenter for $49.99. And a DeLonghi air fryer with a surround heating system for $159. Only at Aldi. Good. Different.
What's it feel like to get 25% off the electricity reference price?
I think I'll have to check them out.
Find your energy saving today at alinterenergy.com.au.
This Sport Report brought to you by Alinta Energy. Get a great energy deal supporting your home team.
Welcome back. Well, he's only 19, but already there are high hopes that Tanveer Sangha could be our best wrist spinner since Shane Warne. Sangha has been fast-tracked into the Aussie T20 squad for next month's New Zealand tour after starring in his debut season with the Sydney Thunder.
Hearing some of the names I'm going to be just around, and I just feel so nerve-wracking just being around them, but I also see the positive side to it.
Sangha went to East Hills Boys High in Panania, a school that has produced many sporting greats, including the War brothers and Ian Thorpe.
I was around some amazing people, some amazing coaches and some amazing teammates that really helped me.
The Thunder play for a spot in the Big Bash final on Sunday. And they'll take on the winner of tomorrow night's eliminator between Brisbane Heat and Adelaide Strikers at the Gabba. The Big Bash finals live here on 7. Well, in the last chance saloon at Cronulla, and now fit Matt Moylan seems guaranteed to start the year as the Sharks' 5'8" on the back of an impressive pre-season. The former Origin and Test star set to replace Sean Johnson as he recovers from an Achilles injury.
Despite COVID, Cronulla could today crow about new jersey sponsor Aramex, a logistics and delivery company.
I hope the Aramex vehicles are delivering the Telstra Premiership Trophy one day into Cronulla Sharks. That'd be nice.
Overdue to deliver a fit-looking Matt Moylan, the 29-year-old eager to put 2 years of poor form and hamstring injuries behind him.
I haven't been able to put a full season together, so I think it's pretty important that I can bank a fair few games this year and play some good footy.
He'll be given first crack to partner Chatty Townsend in the halves.
Moylan gets first crack because last October Sean Johnson ruptured his Achilles tendon. The gun half hopes to be out of rehab and playing again by mid-May. Last August, he and wife Kayla welcomed daughter Mila.
We had a baby, man.
While Dad dotes then trains, Mum does all the work.
If I had to get up the amount the times Kayla's getting up, I wouldn't be able to come in here and put my best foot forward and get my rehab, with where it's at.
Off contract at season's end, the 30-year-old has no plans to become a full-time stay-at-home dad yet.
The preference is to play on. But I don't want you coming out writing something, Johnson's ready to retire. Nah, if I see that, I'm coming after you. But...
Andrew McKinlay, 7 News.
Well, Josh Adokar has returned for his final pre-season with the Storm, but 6 weeks out from round one, there's still no sign of Cameron Smith.
I remember my first year break, he had the 2-week pre-season, bro, so he might come back 2 weeks before round one, bro, so, yeah.
The Fox seemingly let the cat out of the bag a few minutes later, though.
Sully's a big loss as well, Cam's a massive loss as well, but just got to overcome and adapt.
Adokar says Trent Barrett convinced him to sign with the Bulldogs for next season. Ben Simmons went head-to-head with King James in the NBA today, and it was the Aussie star who came out on top. Up against LeBron's defending champion LA Lakers, Simmons starred with a triple-double, tallying 17 points, 11 rebounds and 10 assists. James was hit with his first flagrant foul in 6 years for an incident that brought Joel Embiid crashing down.
Oh, and he goes down hard, lands on his back, and he's hurt.
And LeBron uses 2 arms to push.
Yep.
While LeBron protested, Embiid recovered to play a key role. The 76ers survived a late Lakers fight back to win a nail-biter, 107-106. Macarthur FC know they'll need to curb the influence of Sydney FC's Milos Ninkovic in Saturday night's A-League derby. Ante Milicic tried hard to sign the 36-year-old midfield maestro for Macarthur's debut season.
Still the best player. I watch Sydney FC play more so to watch Milos do what he does at his age. Unfortunately, he didn't come to us.
Macarthur are chasing their first home win at Campbelltown Stadium. Well, for Manchester United, the task was meant to be straightforward this morning. Beat last place Sheffield United and return to the top of the Premier League table. But it didn't pan out that way. The visitors pulled off the upset of the season, winning 2-1 at Old Trafford.
And he's deflected in. The Blades have done it again. They find the cutting edge.
The loss leaves United 1 point behind leaders Manchester City, but the Sky Blues have a game in hand, just the 1 point, but pretty hard to watch as a United fan. But don't get too smug as a Chelsea fan.
I won't, but I did enjoy that result.
I'm sure you did.
Thank you, Mel.
Thanks.
Sydney has been declared the most expensive place in the nation to send a child to school, with parents paying an average 10% above the national average. New research showing that even sending a youngster to a public school will cost just short of $100,000.
Harry Potter fan Max Hammond has the golden ticket to year 1.
It's my stationery list.
Yeah, and where'd you get it from?
I got it from owls.
Owls, like magical owls?
Yeah.
But what's on it remains a magical mystery.
I don't know how to read big words yet.
His mum knows, and also what a good education costs.
That's a lot to spend.
New data suggests she'll fork out $90,000 for his 13-year public school education. If he went to a Catholic school, it would be $130,000. A private education in Sydney nudging $500,000.
We haven't had a parent that I'm aware of that has felt that they're not really getting value for their educational money.
The new survey shows a supposedly free public education is far from it, with fees, excursions, sport, tutoring and supplies adding hundreds, even thousands of dollars.
Everything adds up, uniforms, books, pencils.
I never realised it would be so much. I guess that's how much parents love us.
Parents budgeting for this school year are warned not to be caught short by COVID. The survey found last year's lockdowns cost families an extra $800 per child. The lesson for parents?
Do your best to plan and save for those costs.
Amelia Brace, 7 News.
Now here's a quick look at what's on Sunrise tomorrow.
Thanks, Fergo. When you wake up, COVID comfort spending.
From takeaway food to shoes and tech, the biggest ways Aussies are splurging and the simple ways to keep your budget in check. That's tomorrow on Sunrise. See you in the morning, Sydney.
Now Angie's back with the forecast. Ange, the grey skies are here to stay.
They are, Mark. Showers should start to ease over the weekend, but the clouds are not going anywhere just yet. Details next.
the most outrageous drivers ever seen on Australia's roads.
This is harassment.
There's the naked driver.
Get me closer.
The Holden Hoon.
Oh, not you again.
And the distracted driver. We count down the top 10. Who will be number 1? Australia's Highway Patrol. Tonight on 7.
Guess what I'm thinking?
Again? I guess we could make it a quickie. Actually, it's such a nice night. We should do it on the deck.
For new, quick and easy twists on old favourites. Get some pork on your fork.
The All-Star Mile is yours. Your chance to win a share in $500,000. You choose the horses that run, and if your horse wins, so will you. It's your vote, your race, your win. Vote now at allstarmile.com.au.
Save up to 10% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz home insurance policy online. Allianz, supporting Australians for over 100 years, no matter the weather. Search for a quote today.
When life gives you dirtiness, Godfrey's gives you cleanliness. Hoover Magic Stick, $149. Save $150. Ecovacs D-Bot 600, now $299. Save $100. Godfrey's cleanliness.
I'm borrowing a car.
Introducing the new Lexus IS. With enhanced precision and control, you'll always move as one.
Got Manshake? Get expert advice on your weight loss goals at your local Terry White Chemmart. The Manshake
And the Lady Shake.
at Terry White Chemmart. Now that's real chemistry.
I won miniature Tim Tams at the supermarket.
Oh, I won real ones.
Who wants miniature prizes when you could win real ones? IGA's Shop Scratch Win is back. 1 in 5 chance to win instantly with every $30 spent. Over 1 million prizes to be won. While you're there, get Mars Fun Size Bags 12 to 18 pack varieties $2.50, half price. And Optimum Dry Dog Food 2.5 to 3 kilo varieties $13 each. Shop Scratch Win now at IGA.
Welcome to this ever-changing world, where tomorrow can give way to the unknown. Your world can change in a moment. Never stop trying. Knowledge is power. Never stop learning. The future belongs to you. Love, Mum.
Discover the art of simplicity at the King's Summer Sale. Save up to 50% on Australian design. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Hurry, final days.
Border's biggest bust.
You break the law.
It's all going down.
Do you have any criminal convictions?
Aussie Border Security. Next up on 7. This weather report is brought to you by the King Summer Sale. Ends soon.
Tonight's 7 News headlines. Leif Courtney, the 13-year-old autistic boy missing for almost 24 hours, is tonight safe and well after he was found stranded on a houseboat. There's a fear a mutant strain of COVID may have entered Sydney from New Zealand, just as Queensland finally announced its border would reopen. And police are hunting a rogue driver who raced through the middle of Melbourne's Burke Street Mall during a high-speed chase. Now, here's Angie with the latest on Sydney's weather.
Thanks very much, Mark. Sydney has recorded its first decent rainfall in about 3 weeks. In the 24 hours to 9 a.m, we picked up 19 millimetres. Since then, it's been mostly drizzle, though. The top in the CBD today was just 22.5 degrees, following another cooler night at 18.6. Most metro suburbs, in fact, reached 23 degrees. It was a little bit warmer at the airport and Cronulla with 24, just 19 for Terry Hills. But Katoomba is the standout, 14 degrees today. From the satellite, severe thunderstorms are happening in this yellow pocket, stretching from the upper west down to the Riverina. For the rest of the state, moisture-laden winds are continuing to fuel those light showers mainly on the coast. Tomorrow that pattern isn't going anywhere, so you can see most of New South Wales can expect some precipitation again, with a pocket of storms once again in those southern districts later in the day. Around the nation for your Friday, Brisbane expecting a shower or two, 30 degrees. Canberra possibly heavy falls, 19 degrees. Rain forecast for both Melbourne and Hobart. Adelaide will see a warm 27 degrees despite some early showers, and it's a warm sunny one for Perth, 34 degrees. Statewide, a trough is going to produce continued wet weather and storms across New South Wales. The heaviest totals again will likely be in the Riverina and southwest slopes, with 10 to 40 millimetres possible along those districts, and temperatures once again will be on the cooler side, a top of just 21 for Wollongong, 22 at Wagga Wagga. Under the clouds, it's going to be a cooler day around Sydney as well, so 21 degrees forecast on the beach at Manly and Bondi, 23 for Liverpool, and a wintry 16 degrees for Katoomba. Those showers should amount to about 5 millimetres on the coast, a little bit heavier inland with up to 10 millimetres forecast. On our waters, winds will tend in an easterly direction at first. They'll be strongest in the evening though, shifting to the northeast, reaching 30 knots. So wind warnings will cover Sydney and also the Hunter, Illawarra and Eden coasts, generally covering the latter part of the day. For the CBD, a low of 19, top of 23, and showers to continue with just some light falls. To the week ahead, Saturday signals a return to warmer conditions, 29 in the city, 32 in our west. Despite those summery temperatures, though, still remain cloudy with just a very light shower or two. We're looking at much the same on Sunday, although we can start to expect a few more sunny breaks in the mix. That is the latest weather, Mark.
OK, Angie, thanking you. That is 7 News for this Thursday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening. I'm Mark Ferguson from all of the team. I hope you have a great night.